Good evening. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Cochi?
Here.
Mezak? Nudis?
Here.
Hardy?
Here.
Saunders?
Here.
Rhodes? Here. Thanks. Here.
Council, you have the minutes of the work session of September 3, 2019. Any corrections to those? Seeing none, can I have a motion for acceptance? By Spinks, second by Janutis. Call the roll.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak? Yes. Nudis?
Yes.
Hardy?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes? Yes. Thanks.
Yes.
And you have the minutes of the regular meeting of September 3rd, 2019. Any corrections to that? Seeing none, can I have a motion for acceptance? By Mezak, second by Rhodes. Call the roll, please.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Nudis?
Yes.
Hardy?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes. Oh,
Thanks.
yes. I jumped the gun.
I heard an echo. I understand we might be having some sound difficulties with our audio feed tonight, but he's working on it, and the tech said to go ahead because hopefully they can pick it up. So if you're listening and can't hear it well, he's working on it as we speak. Reports, Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Couple of items very quickly. I did want to take a minute and commend one of our lieutenants in the fire department, Lieutenant Brian Harding. He's a member of a regional response team, and he recently traveled down to the Carolinas and that area who was affected by Hurricane Dorian. Brian's a tremendous asset to our staff, and I think another representation of the quality of people we have here. So
he's a team leader too.
And he is a team leader, correct. Quick update as well. We finished an application for the OPWC Issue 2 grant. It is a very highly competitive grant and loan application, but we did put in for a project on Broadway, which would entail putting in all new connections for water line connections throughout the historic district. Basically, there's a 6-inch line on one end of the road, a 12-inch line on the other. We would abandon the 6-inch, make all new connections, make all repairs to our electrical system downtown, and then resurface Broadway. We did put in for a partial grant, partial loan for that program, and we will wait and see how we score. Again, it's very, very competitive. I did want to also mention that we are moving along with our camera installations. We did a small demonstration to some of the auto dealers last week, and their license plate cameras are up. We also have other directional cameras that are up. They're directly fed into the police department, and we're going to get them fed into the cruisers, and it'll be a good safety piece, I think, not only for the businesses, but also for our public, too, traveling down Rockside and Broadway. Probably have about 2 more weeks to go to complete the installation. I do want to also mention that we did finally get notice that we were awarded the tree grant through Cuyahoga County. It's about a $40,000 grant, and it's going to fund the purchase and planting of about 100 trees. We already identified the areas. One of the main first areas that we will be out at is Broome, Greencliff area. I believe there is some on High Street, and I will provide a detailed list of those streets. The goal is to plant 50 of them this year, and then we'll also plant 50 in the spring. And every time this grant is available, we will go after it. I think we have a great program, and kudos to Jennifer, Clint, and Sean, who worked really hard to put that together. We are making some headway with the tractor, trailer, and truck parking up at Meadowbrook. For those of you that don't know, it was identified that there was an app and somebody registered that space as free overnight parking. We had worked, I made a posting on there. Councilwoman Rhodes did email the administrator for that app. It was removed last week. It hasn't completely stopped the trucks, but it did diminish a little bit. And we are in discussions with some of the property owners who have been up there as well, making posting notices on those vehicles. So it may be a matter of time, but we think we know where it originated from, and that was stopped. Lastly, we did start our transportation this week. For anybody interested in utilizing our senior transportation connection, please contact our Parks and Recreation Department. We'll work with you, we'll get you signed up, and it'll be a seamless transition. So contact them and they'll get that application to you. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Law Director.
Thank you. Just wanted to welcome everyone to the meeting. I have no report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Finance Director.
Again, welcome everyone to the meeting on this night, Browns night, Monday Night Football. I do have one note. Tax Department, we did send out a lot of non-filer letters, delinquencies. Highly recommend it. If you get a letter, make sure you contact the department, or if you're moving, make sure you contact the department, let them know when you move into the city or move out of the city. Very important. So far, we've had to do a lot of delinquency collections. We're very much up over last year in regards to our lawyers presenting cases at over $270,000 already in collections this year as of September. So to alleviate that, alleviate a lot of fees, alleviate a lot of fines, make sure you contact the tax department to square up with where you're at and work out payment plans. End of my report.
Thank you. And Council, since I'm first to vote tonight, I think I'll take an advantage to go first, because by the time I get to speak after all you guys, there's nothing left. But I just want to talk about the weekend, the celebration of the arts this weekend, the weekend of the Puka. What a terrific weekend. Weather cooperated. The performance on Friday night was just awesome. Anybody that wasn't there missed a fantastic show. To see these acrobats and to see them up close as we did, and what they do on those rings and the silks, just amazing. And then the entertainment all weekend from the bands and the dancing, to see a troupe of Irish dancers, kids out there dancing, followed up by the Chinese dancers, and followed up by Greek belly dancers, and I don't know all these, but it was such a progression through different cultures. It was just really a great weekend. And I want to give a big shout out to Sandy Spinks, who headed it up and did a great job of putting all that together. And thank you for doing that. And I know everybody was there, just said, wow. And they want to go tell other people, be there next year, because it was just a great weekend. Also, I want to this is kind of directed toward our friends over in Walton Hills, because I had a lot of comments, especially over the weekend, about them seeing the work done on Union Street, and they were all excited about getting a new street. Well, they're going to be vastly disappointed, because we are only putting in a water line. We are not redoing the street. The county has said they're going to do it next year, so the administration and us, we got together and said, let's do the water line this year, because we'd really look foolish if we waited till they paved it and then did the water line. That we'd all be dancing from the gazebo down there. But so the people in Walton Hills, I keep telling them, you might have a lane where you can put two wheels on it and be smooth, but the road is not going to be any better. So, but the water line will be fixed, which is very critical to get the infrastructure fixed before they do the road service. So that's why that's getting done. But I just don't want everybody to be too disappointed. And with that, we'll start with Mrs. Mezek. Oh, where are we at? This one, I'm sorry. Oh, Mrs. Mezek. Go ahead.
You're not a hard act to follow, but I'm glad to come right after you. I heard a lot of remarks about Puka. And I know Sandy, when she does anything, she puts her heart into it. completely. Because a couple of years back, we worked together at the Pluka, and she took 3 days of rest because she had to do so much work at that time. This weekend, you're pretty well caught up, I think. But I heard it went well. Unfortunately, I had to drop out a lot of my social things due to my situation at home. So it's better that I hear the good news and then I can give it to you right back at you. But very good job done, and carry on, and next will be better than this year on that one. Mike, I need Kelvin to do a little work. Go down and check out what's happened with the Sunoco station. It is completely at a standstill. Just sitting there. Have any information for us?
Yeah, they actually looked at changing out and putting in, I should say, originally, their original plans called for a little, like, convenient type store. They actually stopped it on their own, and they were looking at redoing the drawings to put in for grilled food and more of where you can purchase food inside. It turned out that that was going to be it was not cost effective to do so. And they came back and they did tell us, or told the building department, that they scratched those plans. They're going to stick with the original, and they should be starting that up fairly shortly. That was about a week ago. I'll try to get you a specific date on that, but we do anticipate the original plans and them to continue to move forward.
And I need a little bit of attention paid to the Glendale side where the school's at. There's a lot of speeders as usual. We have a lot of problems when the children are getting out of school and now that they're back in. We don't want to go up and be the referee of the traffic offenders or say we can do this because you get flack back. So I don't want to give any flack to somebody that I don't know. And lastly, I heard Shred Day was successful. Other people are just getting ready for the September one. If we have a date, I'd appreciate it. And other than that, no report, but thank you for coming, my Ward 4 people and the others from the rest of the city. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Mr. Janutis.
Thank you. No report.
Thank you. Mr. Fluharty.
Good evening, everybody. I got a little announcement here to make about the light of Hartsvilla's annual Fall Fest, which will be Sunday, October 13th, from 12 to 5. That's on the corner of Union Street in Northfield, if you don't know where it's at already. Let's see here. There's a phone number here. The phone number is 440-232-1991, and if you need that again from me, I'll have this information on me. 1991 is easy to remember. That's when I was born, so I shouldn't have a problem with that. Also, Mike, we got a problem with people parking on sidewalks in their driveway, and I got a lot of people complaining at this time of year because they're walkers and runners, and they got to go out in the street. So PD needs to start really hammering down on some of this. It's really every day. You go up and down some of the streets in my area, and there's at least 1 or 2 cars on the sidewalk, and even some of them are in the yards, which I know is bad. But they need to, they need to really start. They drive right past them, and they can't do that. They need to stop and give them a citation, or at least a warning, something to get them off the sidewalks. It's the same people that are doing it. So, and a lot of it's visitors too, and they just park in the people's driveway and don't care. So, anyhow, I got a couple guys complaining about that because they're constantly always walking in the streets. And if you got kids doing that, that's not good either. So now the school kids are out walking around after school and stuff. So, all right, that's in the report.
Thank you. Mr. Saunders.
All right, I got 2 questions for Mike first. The first one being, do we still have a tree board? Or are they the ones picking the trees, or?
That's the yes.
Okay, and they're going to pick selected trees so that the line side gets a tree that doesn't go over 15 feet, and the opposite side can be as big as they want? Okay, good. As long as there's multiple varieties per street so we don't strip our streets again like we ended up doing because of what they planted in the 60s. The other question is you mentioned what we're going to do with downtown Bedford. Has Dominion decided what they're going to do with the gas line through downtown Bedford? Because it would be nice if they did it the same time we were doing the water line and everything, so we could just get it all cleaned up and then resurfaced and have a nice area for a while.
Yeah, originally they were going to do so, but then they had stopped that, and they started identifying other roads. We did reach back out to them to try to get an answer on that, if they're going to. If they will, obviously it'll play into our planning, but we are going to be in communication with them.
Okay, because I just don't want them digging it back up again afterwards. And then, in the interest of time, because everybody wants to get home for the Browns game, I've got one thing to piggyback on what Vic has been saying. There are cars parked all over the place, but the bigger problem of walking on the sidewalk is the fact of trees. We need to lift a lot of these tree-lawn trees that we currently have. You can't walk down the street without running into them. And now, granted, I'm a little taller than normal, so I'll hit a lot of them, but a lot of people are complaining that they can't walk, or they have to go around the trees because the branches are really low. I know that's usually a wintertime project, when they have more time or whatever, but we ought to seriously start looking at going through the different streets in the city and start lifting some of these trees, because they haven't been done in quite a number of years. That's it.
Thank you. Mrs. Rhodes.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. First of all, I have an announcement that the last week of chipper service will be the first week of October. Please call the service department if you'd like to schedule a pickup from the chipper service. I would like to thank everyone who purchased a Bedford mum. If you're not aware, the official flower of the city of Bedford is the pink azalea mum. The Garden Club does sell them in the fall as a fundraiser and to help promote the pink azalea mum in Bedford. So thank you to everyone who purchased one. We did sell out. We did sell 250 of the flowers. If you aren't sure what a pink azalea mum looks like, Billy just put some out in front of City Hall in the planters. So you can go out and look at them and see how beautiful they are. I'd also like to let you know that we will be selling our bean soup and our honey, as well as the cute little decorative rocks that people like to hide around different places. I will be selling those at the Fall Fest. The Garden Club will be. So if you would like to get some bean soup or some honey or those cute little rocks, we will be selling them, and we hope to see you there. For Bedford Downtown Alliance, we will be having our Do Good Next meeting, which is our volunteer meeting, on September 25th at 7 p.m. Our next First Friday is October 4th from 6 to 9 p.m. The theme this time will be Around the World. Our game, it's going to be a game, and basically the Pukas have stolen Elmer Flick, and you will have to go from business to business to figure out, chase the Pukas around the world and figure out where they went. If any of you are familiar with Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, we are completely ripping off that game for this. So it should be a lot of fun for kids and even for adults. We'll, of course, always have music, free food, and free fun. So we hope to see you there on that First Friday. I would also like to let you know that the Bedford Downtown Alliance is looking for board members. If you're interested in helping shape how the Bedford Downtown looks over the next many years, we would love to have you apply to possibly be on the board for our Bedford Downtown Alliance. Last but not least, we are seeking musical acts. We have no money right now. Well, we're starting to get money, but we don't have a lot, so we can't pay a lot. But if you're looking for a garage band to get a little bit of practice, if you're, we've had several singers come out who just haven't performed publicly, either recently or ever. It's a great way to get practice and to provide entertainment for our Bedford residents. If you are interested in performing at one of our First Fridays, please contact me and we can get you scheduled. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Will there be any more mums, or
They are all sold out.
not getting more?
Yep, we ordered 50 more than last year, and we still sold
Well,
out.
that's excellent. Town ought to look better. Mrs. Spinks.
Speaking of the moms, a big thank you to Billy Dorr I know it's his job to keep our city beautiful, but he goes beyond his job. He brought the mums up Saturday morning, early, and got them planted around the statue just in time for the celebration of art. So it's so nice. He does such a good job. He just makes, every time there's an event, you know that you've got so many people that came into our town that don't live here for taking pictures and talking about how beautiful our city was. A lot of my artists that were from different places, they were talking about, man, this is the neatest city. Your downtown is so gorgeous and everything. So big thank you to Billy. He was able to come to our show, to the Cirque de Bedford on Friday night, which was spectacular. Already planning for next year. Everybody was thanking me. Well, I could not put on this event if it wasn't for the volunteers, our very small committee. There's 4 of us, the mayor, his wife, me, Betsy, well, there's 5 of us, Betsy Lee and Linda Calkins. And then all the volunteers that come in and they volunteer their time. Helen Briggs and her husband, they always stay after and help us clean up. Even our auxiliary, Jeff, he pitched in and helped me move trash cans and everything. So it's not being by myself. And the biggest help, and I want to give a big shout out to our local Boy Scouts. Those young men, they really pitched in, and they are amazing. It's so nice, and I'm so proud of our young men. We're going to give them a pizza party. This weekend I paid them gummy bears and cookies and stuff, and they were happy about that, but they were more happy that they were going to get a pizza party too. So that's coming up next Monday to thank them for that. Now to get on to the city business, I kind of agree with Don on the limbs and stuff. Mike, I know I had turned it in quite a while back on Greencroft. We have a lot of dog walkers over there, and by the park over there, it's really bad, and it's really hard for they have to walk out on the street. It's overgrown so bad on Greencroft. In those areas, there's a few trees on Tudor, but the main overgrown is right there by the park. Also on Grand, over by the creek, it's pretty bad there because that's kind of our walking path to go down there, and we have I've been getting a few complaints on that. So if we can get those trimmed up, that would be nice. Talking about trees, we were lucky here in Bedford this weekend. Cleveland Heights and Shaker Heights weren't so lucky on that little storm. It was really sad, and I was driving to work and coming from work in Shaker this morning. These beautiful 100-year-old trees that I love so much to drive by every day. These huge things looked like someone just scooped them up and set them over or cracked them open. They've still, a lot of areas over there are without electricity. So they were hit. It was up by the post office on Center Road. They had trees just like someone snapped them. So we were lucky to have that. But again, thank you to everybody that came out this weekend. We finally got some beautiful weather. It wasn't as crowded as I liked it, but all of our vendors really, most of them did real good, and they were looking forward. Some of them already wanted to make sure they had their spot for next year. So thanks for the ones that the volunteers and everybody that came out in a report.
Thank you. All right, let's get to business. Ordinance number 9723-19.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Cummings for the purchase of a 3300 control module for the efficient operation of the wastewater treatment plant and declaring an emergency.
I have a motion for suspension by Saunders, second by Rhodes. Call the roll, please.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Nudis?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Janutis. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. This is for some equipment at our wastewater treatment plant. And we've had our generator contracting firm, Cummings. They were out multiple times to try to rectify an error that we've been receiving. Actually, it started a few years back, our error code. Ultimately, the only true fix is to upgrade to from a 3100 control model to the 3300 control model. Obviously, this is proprietary. It's working with Cummins to get this installed in the generator, and it's an absolute need. Without the backup, during a heavy storm or power outage, we risk the plant failing and bypassing into Wood Creek, which obviously is not an option. So we'd like to get this passed and start on this upgrade as soon as possible.
Thank you.
One last thing, I'm sorry, it is budgeted for this year.
Call the roll, please.
Coche?
Yes.
Mizek?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9724-19.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract to purchase an Indico HP 1100 ABF hydraulic breaker from Gibson Machinery LLC and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Call the roll, please.
Coche?
Yes.
Mizek?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Saunders, second by Mezek. Mike again.
This is a piece of equipment that has failed. We utilize it. Utilize it for a handful of dig projects, specifically water breaks when we need to break up the roadway. It is a concrete breaker that allows us to break and obviously do the necessary dig jobs. We did receive 2 quotes. Gibson was the lower of the quote. We recommend going with them. The other quote came in at $14,804. And we would like to make this purchase as quickly as possible, as our current piece of equipment is not operating.
It's not like we don't have any water main breaks. So we better do this quick. Call the roll, please.
Coche?
Yes.
Mizek?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9725-19.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 9639-18 of the codified ordinances of the city, section 91103, entitled Rate Reduction for Disabled Persons and Senior Citizens for Water and Sewer Discounts, and declaring an emergency.
A motion for suspension by Rhodes, second by Saunders. Call the roll.
Coche?
Yes.
Mizek?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
And Spinks?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Mike?
I'll take this one.
Frank?
This is
Okay.
annually we have to look at what the qualifying dollar amount will be for households for the water discount for the following year. In 2018, income taxes that you earned, the amount will go up to $33,862. You'll be filing those, and you should have done so already by April 15th of 19, and we will utilize those tax returns and those income levels to associate to a 2020 discount. So I ask council to pass that this evening. And we increased that by the Consumer Price Index.
Okay. Thank you. Call the roll.
Coche?
Yes.
Mizek?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9726-19.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to initiate energy improvements pursuant to an investment-grade audit conducted by Gardner and declaring an emergency.
I believe it's our wish to put that on first reading so that we might have more time to look at what projects need to get done first. So, motion for first reading by Mezek, second by Saunders. Call the roll, please.
Coche?
Yes.
Mizek?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
And resolution number 2545-19.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Tinkers Creek Watershed Partners, Inc. for stormwater discharge and declaring an emergency.
I believe we only need a yes or no on this one.
No, this is to suspend the rules. So, yes, sir.
Okay. Motion for suspension by Mezek, second by Rhodes. Call the roll.
Coche?
Yes.
Mizek?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Janutus. Mike?
Yes, Tinkers Creek Watershed, it's an organization that we've been working with throughout the years. They help us on a number of different projects, if it's planting trees, if it's working with property owners on runoff issues. Most recently, I believe we did a tree planting and a conservation program over off of Columbus Road. Great nonprofit entity and definite benefits to the city. There is no charge to enter into this agreement with them.
That's the good part. Call the roll, please.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mizek?
Yes.
Janudis,
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
And with that, we come to the hearing of citizens. If you wish to speak, please come forward, state your name, your address, and your comment.
Good evening. My name is Jay Watts. I live at 40 Berwyn. And I may be speaking about some items that perhaps were already discussed prior to me showing up here. But I want to begin with saying I appreciate the resurfacing of Center Road. It certainly is a wonderful road at this time. And I certainly hope that when the snow plows go through, they don't pull the road up. But it is marvelous. I think they did a wonderful job. I'd like to also say, in terms of talking about some beautification, and I don't know why it's taken me this long because I haven't been noticing for a while, the landscape in front of Data Basic, it's very nice. It's very appealing. They've done a real nice job, and I personally appreciate driving by and seeing how well they've done that landscaping. There was a bad accident about a month ago at the crosswalk on Broadway where the bank is. Most of you guys were on vacation, I believe, or something like that during that period of time. I happened to be in that area. Fortunately, to my knowledge, no one was seriously hurt in that accident. But this one truck just went through and embedded itself into one of the buildings. Certainly, in my view, a potential to say that we need to look at doing something about that crosswalk. I have seen some improvements over the years, but I kind of spent some time down that area doing some various activities for some friends, and I see where people actually have to stand there and literally wait for cars to be polite to stop, and sometimes they don't. I mean, there's issues where, first of all, they drive through there, it's higher than the speed is posted quite often. And then you have people saying, don't you see the flashing lights? I wish to cross. And they have to wait quite a bit of time for someone to be courteous to let them walk across. I would hope that there is something that the city can do to try to make that more of a safer area. One of my personal thoughts on that is that why don't we just start issuing out more tickets? I mean, it is something, in my view, this is a law issue. You're not allowing someone to go across the crosswalk, which is clearly marked, that you should give them that courtesy to do so. But on any given day, particularly around 5 o'clock and 4 o'clock, there's traffic zooming through there, and you're on your own in terms of trying to think you're going to get through there safely. Why don't we start issuing some tickets? I mean, can't we have maybe the volunteer police officers out there writing tickets or taking pictures or something? I mean, yeah, it brings in revenue, but it also says we want our city to be safe. And we have it properly posted that you should obey the law and let our citizens or whoever go through that crosswalk and not have to be fearing for their lives. Next that I wish to speak about is, and I did bring it to my council person, Don, and I agree with you. There are just too many cars that are blocking the sidewalks. I have reported to the police department, one in particular on Marion, and I have yet to see anything done about it. And this is at 253 Marion Road. There's this one car that protrudes out into the sidewalk. It doesn't totally block it 100%, but it blocks it enough that we have some people in our area that are wheelchair bound. This to me, that's a problem. And I did bring it to the police department, and I have yet to see anything done. I also brought it to Don's attention. I have yet to see anything done. But you can see this is, I agree with you. This is happening more often than I think we should permit to happen. At least give a warning. You know, there may be some unique circumstances where this is not a continuous, activity at this particular house. So maybe a warning. I think with warnings, neighbors get to talking to people saying, you know what, you better move your car. You know, they do patrol this area, and you may get a ticket if you don't move. And I also agree with the trees. I brought this to Don's attention, particularly on his street. You go down Logan, you come off of Columbus, you go down towards his house, and I see this in many intersections. You don't see the stop sign until you're right up on it, because there are trees obstructing the stop signs. Now, in my view on this, we got enough police out here traveling that this is something they could easily call in and report. Listen, I'm driving through these intersections, and you know what? The trees are obstructing the stop signs. Now, I know the police has a lot to do, but perhaps that is something they could quickly just radio in and say, listen, we got trees that are obstructing these stop signs out here. And I also enjoy walking through various neighborhoods. And yes, we got a lot of low-hanging branches. And I did call the service department to get some clarification. Whose responsibility is this? You know, is it the city or is it the land property owner? Got some, I think, reasonable clarity on it. But I have also brought to the service department. I have yet to see it being done. I'm doing what I thought was the right thing in terms of letting the right departments know. I'm not seeing the action in terms of addressing some of these issues, and I'm just bringing it to your attention. I'm doing what I thought was the right way of getting these things done. I don't see the action. My next issue is, can we not use that sign out front to advertise that we need volunteers for Meals on Wheels?
Yeah, I don't know.
We might have had something out there once. I know we haven't had anything on there recently, but I can go through and check.
I would think that would be great. Meals on Wheels have been having some issues in terms of having enough volunteers. I went through another community over in Lyndhurst. They have that similar type sign out in front of their city hall. They're advertising, needing volunteers for Meals on Wheels. So I said, okay, well, fine. I'll bring that as something that I would like to request to you guys. Let's do something. It's a great organization, and I think we're serving our community by letting people know we care about them. My next concern is, when are we going to do something somehow in terms of Meadowbrook and all these trucks? I know you said this is a property owner. Part of my friends, he's just an asshole, whoever this guy is. But you drive by there and, man, you got RVs out there. You got trucks parked out there. They're nicely parked. I'll give it to them. They're nicely parked. But boy, is this stacked up over there big time at various times, particularly on the weekend.
Mr. Watson, Mike did address that before you get hired.
Oh, really? Like I said, there may have been something before.
We'll be happy to have him repeat it, because it's...
Yeah, one of the reasons we believe we identified where it started.
Yes.
Someone, everything in today's, everything's got an app.
Yes.
And we had found out that Heather located one of the apps, one of the more prominent apps, Trucker Path or something along those
Trucker
lines.
Path, it's the #1 app in the United States for truckers.
Somebody registered that place as free parking, free overnight parking.
Okay.
Now, we don't know who did it. Listen, for Could have been a resident, could have been a trucker,
Yeah.
it could have been IHOP trying to generate business. Who knows?
Okay.
It would have been a smart play, but you can't do it. We had made, I never thought I'd be downloading a trucker app, but I did. And I made a couple posts on there. We contacted the admin for it. They had since removed that location.
Okay.
So that's where it started. Now, it's not going to stop right away. We did see it drop down in the amount that we're up there since we have done that. We did have the property owner out there. He was making postings. And we're looking at, one of the things that we're looking to do right now is a couple of the entrances, how can we block that where we still need to have access for like safety apparatuses for fire to get to the building. We can't have it barricaded to where if something happens at the building.
Sure.
But is there something we can get there temporarily? But I think we made some headway with that.
Well,
I agree. The one weekend there was like 42 actually. Yeah, there were a lot.
I mean, who provides that little security guard that drives around in his car? Who pays for that?
Well, I don't believe that it's there anymore. Originally, the primary property owner who owned all of that originally paid for that security.
Yes.
He stopped that about a year and a half ago when he started selling off the various parcels. So there is not private security up there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We'll watch your back for you.
Good evening. My name is Millie Migliorini, and I have been a resident at Colony Club for 24 years. It is now under new ownership, and the rules have changed tremendously. For example, they raised the rent $35. Also, they're going to give us water, sewer, and rubbish bills extra. No more offers or free for the residents, for the seniors to have a discount. Not at all. And I have spoke with the lady in Michigan. It's owned by it's Colony Club, Northwestern Hills, Farmington Hills, Michigan. And I said to her today, I said, aren't you going to give the seniors a discount? No, we're not going to do that. Aren't we going to have a security guard riding around like they did before? No, we're not going to do that. I said, how can you possibly give us a water bill or sewer bill when there aren't any meters like we have upstairs for electricity? Well, we're just going to estimate how many people are in your apartment, or if it's 3 or 4 next door, or just yourself. How can they possibly do that? And charge us $10 for writing a check. They want you to do it on a computer. Not all seniors have access to computers, and it's ridiculous. And I would like to, Mr. Montello, to let me know, can you charge $10 to the person, or myself, or these people that are here, for writing a check?
I would direct you to your lease. I mean, did they make you sign new leases?
I have not signed mine yet. You want to see the lease, the new lease?
Well, not right this second, but afterwards I can take a look at it.
It's 10 pages.
Is it?
I have not signed it, simply because, I mean, I don't belong in the senior citizen complex. I'm very active, and although I walk with a cane because I had a total knee replacement, but on the other hand, they just don't, I mention, the lawn doesn't look the same, no more fertilizer. Oh, we're going to take care of that. And in the summer, they permitted dogs, people bringing dogs into the pool. And that is against the law. It is. And it's, first of all, it's filthy. So if someone from the city of Bedford, city manager or Mr. Montello could call this lady and talk with her, I would be delighted to give you her number.
Okay,
I have
I'll
it.
call and try to talk.
Ma'am, Miss McGrooney, I have it, actually, and I've been in communication with her. And I could chat afterwards if you'd like.
Share this number, because Paula is very well aware.
That number was given to him this afternoon.
Oh, you gave it to him? Good. I gave the number to Paula, because the number that Paula had given me, that was not her number. She's not always at that number. And she was very, shall I say, abrupt with me. Well, we're not going to do this, and we're not going to do that. In other words, if you're not happy, go find another apartment. That was her attitude. Somebody has to do something, because seniors are here, myself.
You can try, but it kind of is a matter between you and them. I mean, we could try to call them and ask them to be reasonable. If not sure legally we could do anything, but...
Well, what about charging a person $10 for writing a check? And let me tell you what happened to me on June. This is the most disgusting thing. I wrote my check, and I delivered the check. And as I looked in the box, there were still some checks that had not fallen into the well. So I walked inside, and I said, well, where is the box inside? It's no longer here. Well, the manager, she's not there anymore, tall black lady, says, I'll take your check. I said, fine. So I handed her my check, $749. 2 weeks later, there was a notice behind my door. 3 days to be evicted. I went berserk. I went there. How can you possibly put anything like that on my door? I have been here 24 years when I sold my house in Garfield Heights. And it's very, very heart-wrenching. And I says, I'm going to go stop that check, and I'm going to pay $35, and I'm going to take it off of next month's rent. They were agreeable, and I did that. And I checked with the bank today. That check still hasn't shown up. I understand that they delivered 13 letters to people that checks were missing. Yep. And I mentioned it to her today. She says, well, I wasn't aware of it. I said, well, it certainly happened to me, believe me. I have the check number and everything. So you can speak. It's your turn.
Well, I used to live there too, so I'm very familiar with the place, so I'll see what I can try and ask. That's all I could do. And,
well, you have the number, correct?
Some courtesy.
Well, I thank you for listening, and I hope and pray that I don't want to go to Mayfield Heights. I don't want to go to South Euclid. I don't want to go to those neighborhoods. I enjoy it here.
Don't worry about nothing. You see all of them? It's 11 of them. Every last one of them is going to help us get Colony Club together. Because these new people just coming in and giving all these new plans, it don't make sense. And everything she said is right. My name is Melvin Cook. You all know me. You know, a lot of things that she said was right about the pool, about going in there and asking $10 if you write a check. I've never heard if you write a check, then they want $10. I went in there the other day and paid mine. And they didn't tell me that. You know why? Because I went in there with a look that they didn't like it. And they accepted, and I said, I want something to prove that I gave you the check. And she went in there and did it. You know? And I think all of you guys, I think all y'all great. You understand? Because every last time I ask you guys to do something, you'll do it. You understand? And I love all of you guys, okay? So help us out, okay? All right. Come on up here.
These are all at the residence.
Yeah, I know they charge for, the plain dealer charges you $4 if you write a check. Yeah.
It seems to be that,
Look on your fine print, I just found that out today.
it may be more
$4 you
secure,
said to
believe
check.
it or not.
Well, my name is Bronick Walker, 681 Turney Road. I've been there over 15 years, and I've got to move. I'm going to move because I refuse to go through what I'm going through with this new company. They're rude, they're uncaring, and one thing about the trash, most of the trash is coming from outside sources. People from Garfield coming dumping stuff in. I caught them. I caught a contractor throwing stuff in there. I said, you can't do that. Who are you? You know, that's what you get from the different things. Now, how are they going to charge us for trash with other people throwing stuff in there? This morning, I'm a veteran, so I was getting ready. I had a VA appointment in Palmer, because that's where I go. And as I started up my car, the garbage truck, which I thought was coming early, I said, they never come this early. They were throwing stuff into our dumpster. They supposed to be taking stuff away. My daughter said, why didn't you take a picture of it, Dad? I said, I didn't think about it. I wish I had filmed it. You know, this is the things you go in, and then you go up there, and I talk to the people in the office, and my concerns, well, what do you want us to do about it? I mean, that's the thing. You know, the people that we had before, you could go up and say something, they handle it right away. These people they're very rude. They're very unconcerned about the issues. When you tell them about things going on, ain't nothing we could do about it. I mean, you running how would it be if I ran a business and you came to me and said, well, this ain't right. What you want me to do about it? You stop going to the business. I understand that. And that's what they tell you. Well, you don't like it, move. Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to still be in Bedford because I'm going where my sister is, you know, for right now until I find a place. Because you know it's hard to find a place right away. But the thing of it is, you know, I wish you guys would take it serious what we're talking about. This is a serious issue. Now, what's going to happen if you don't do anything about it? Pretty soon it's going to affect the whole city. Believe me, you see it coming. We giving you a warning of what's going on. It's up to you.
See, one of the news channels can help, you know, call for action or something like that, you know. That, you know, bad publicity might be the best tool.
Hi, my name is Sabrina Sanford, and I live at 594 Cork Hill, and my issue is I've been to the office and I've complained about the same dog, pit bull, in my building, and I've complained about this dog, and it's not a service dog, and I've been told it has to have a muzzle, and this dog does not have a muzzle. And I'm afraid because the dog is upstairs from me and I have to wash upstairs. And my neighbors are afraid, and I have senior citizens in my building, and they're afraid to wash because they don't know when this dog is going to come in and out. And this guy he's a mile away, and the dog is up here, and this dog gets loose, and he's chasing the dog because he has no control of the dog. And so we have to, one lady's scared to take her trash out because she don't know what a dog is. I don't know what a dog is to go to get my bus because I catch the bus, the senior bus. So we are on pins and needles because we don't know what a dog is. So that's my concern. And I have reported this to Don, the manager of the building, and nothing is being done about it. And it's not a service dog. So
That's permitted, other people have pets or no?
they just started with the dogs, and I've told her about this dog in August, and the dog has been there when it was comedy club, but he hid the dog. He would bring the dog out at night so they wouldn't see, so the comedy club people wouldn't see it because it wasn't allowed when it was comedy club. They didn't have dogs. They weren't permitted. So that's my concern, is this pit bull in the building that I live in. Thank you.
What was that number again?
594B. And his apartment is 414. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabrina.
If I may say something, the other company did not allow animals. This one,
Sure did.
we did not. You saw no one walking dogs unattended. And the one said to me, "Oh, your lawn looks very nice. Your flowers are beautiful. The dog likes to do his business here." I says, "Not here. I'll call the police on you." And she kept walking.
Well, good evening. My name is Dr. Karen Gilliam. This is my husband, John Gilliam. And this is the first meeting that we are attending as new residents of Bedford. We lived in Bedford Heights for 41 years. We still own that home, but about a month now, close to a month. The address is 845 Wellman. So just wanted to come out and say hello. I don't know who my council person is. Okay, Walter, you're the lucky person. Okay.
And you are a former council person in
Yes.
Bedford Heights?
Yes, 9 years.
Yeah, I was glad to have you in town. I know John works for our court system there. Oh, you did retire?
retired.
Well, that's why I haven't seen you there. You can't do that. Well, welcome to Bedford.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes.
Hi, my name is Vivian Freeman, and I too am a resident of Colony Club, but it seems like all of the problems have already been announced already. I just have two little short ones. If we could get some litter signs, it seems like everybody is using the tree lawns going down Turney Road, going towards Broadway to dump their rubbish. And there's so much trash now on the side and on the tree lawns. And if you're coming off of like Southly, on Turney, and every day my friend and I walk about 8:45, and it is so much trash that is thrown out on the driver's side, I think would be, passenger side. And it's gotten worse. I mean, the litter is getting even worse with the stuff that they're throwing out. Pampers, everything. And I was just wondering if they could put some do not litter signs or some sort. And secondly, the flowers in front of City Hall are gorgeous. But do you realize we cannot see the message on the sign? The only thing I see, because I missed the council meeting because I couldn't see the date on it. I did call City Hall today, and she said she probably would take care of it. I don't want the flowers to be gone. They're gorgeous. But the message is a little more important. We should be able to see it when we come in the same direction. And I can't see it, okay, because only the top part is shown. The message is not there at all because of the flowers. Thank you very much.
I noticed that tonight, and
yes.
They do too good a job at taking care of
Yes, they did. They're gorgeous, and I love flowers, but I do thank you for listening to my little complaint. Thank you so much.
Mayor,
Yes.
comment to the residents. To my county club residents. When you mentioned the rate for the rubbish being increased,
Yes.
when I had spoken with the lady that you talked to,
Deborah.
no, not Dawn, not Deborah, the Gillespie lady, they based that increase, those that only have a one-bedroom, well, there's actually 541 residents in the Colony Club units, the whole Colony Club. Our other audience doesn't know, so I'm just bringing up a fact, Millie. She said that that was prorated for the water, sewer, and trash. Those that had one bedroom were going to be raised to $60, went to $75, and then those with four or more in their apartment, which I didn't see no four-bedroom apartments on that property, they're going to be $75. That was one figure she didn't give you to. So I had that fact, and that was what I was going to bring, because remember when they said they were going to raise the rent and everything? That included everything that I just mentioned.
My lease says $35 more. The other company only raised us $15. That was
Like I said, they're a new, larger company, and they're going to do what they feel is right, and it's not right, we know, and we're going to try to fight for the right thing. That's all I had to say.
Thank you.
But do you know that they got a separate company that's billing for the water and
sewer. We're going to have a separate company do that.
They're not doing it.
How can they determine that?
Because you
How
got
can
a
they
letter.
determine this? It's impossible.
You got a separate company.
Right.
Do they have a master meter, Frank?
Keep it away from them.
Okay.
Yeah, we can look into, see what we can do, or try to put a little pressure on them. Hopefully a lot of pressure.
They moving out.
I know, then we lose the good people that've been there, 15, 20, 25 years. We don't want to lose your people.
Well, who has the garbage bill with them? Anyone today? Who has the garbage bill on them, with the address and the name of the company?
Yeah, has not.
Hasn't started?
They haven't
Okay.
started it yet.
That's what you start with the new president, the one that signed.
Oh, the new people get that?
And I can't understand why they say they're gonna raise the water bill, and the water bill is already in when you sign your lease. It's $20. Now they talking about raising.
There's
the
going to
water
be
bill
three
up
combined.
more. How are they gonna do that?
They're combining three instead of one. The one joint bill with the three amenities.
Yeah, but we paying Garfield and what's the other one? Garfield and, yeah, Maple. I mean, we paying their rubbish bill, because they bringing their stuff. I see it every day. I walk around that townhouse every day, and I know what's going on over there. And I don't think it's right. And I think it's level with you guys. Y'all need to get down and help us, because we're going to help y'all. When you need us, we're going to be there for you. So be there for us. Thank you.
Yep.
Can I talk to you after?
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none? Oh, yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to say too that it starts like when I lived in Bedford Heights. I asked the mayor then, if we don't start with the apartments with all the problems that we're having, it might be in our doorstep today, but all you that's in homes, it has a trickle effect. So we have to put a stop to what's going on in Colony Club, because we get all kinds of people moving in. They get to the point they don't care who signs the lease. I had to have a thorough check, reference check before I moved in. They don't care who they allow in. I'm a senior too, and I feel safe where I'm living in the Colony Club. I'm on the first floor. I can leave my patio door. I feel very comfortable. And when I do call for a police of some sort to come out, I've had no problem, they come right out. So, but I'm considering moving also. I don't want to pay for the residents that's having all their 50 girlfriends coming in taking a shower. I don't think it's fair. I'm going to do what I have to do, okay? I'm going to pay what I'm supposed to pay. My rent is always on time, and I don't even need anyone to say I'm a good tenant because I sweep the trash in front of my building. I even pull the grass on the sidewalks out. I mean, that's my home, and I don't want to see it going down. But if all these incorrigible people keep moving in, it might be an outdoor step today, but one day you're going to turn around and everyone who's got these lovely homes is going to be at your doorstep. We have to stop it before it festers. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for those comments. Motion for adjournment. By Spinks, second by Janutus. Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mizek?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Thank you all for coming.